It's rare these days that an ODI innings keeps you glued. It keeps you interested with the twists and turns that this innings had for Sri Lanka. It was one of those up and down performances that gave them 291 in their allotted 50 overs, 291 for 8. Kusal Mendis, keeper batter, the star performer of this Sri Lanka innings, unfortunately missing out on what looked like a sure shot 100, getting out, run out at that non-striker's end. Pathum Nissanka at the start scoring 41 very good-looking runs. Charith Asalanka continuing his good form but wasn't able to convert that innings of 36. Well, a couple of wickets for Rashid Khan. Gulbadin Naib got 4 for 60 off his 10. Mujibur Rahman getting that 1 wicket. You're watching Cricbuzz live. Zaheer Khan and Joy Bhattacharjya in the house. 291. You'd think they're, say, 20, 30 below par from what it looked like at one stage.
Well, yes, looking at Kusal Mendis's form and the way he was putting those Afghani bowlers under pressure, if he had batted, it was unfortunate that he got run out in that fashion. He deserved 100. I think he was very impressive right throughout. The way he approached batting, very positive. Look at that healthy strike rate of 109 as well. That was a very good. Didn't let the bowlers stay on top. You know, that's something which was very important, took the pressure off all the batters. So looking at all that, I think all in all, it was just a good effort from Sri Lanka. Yes, the innings was looking like a roller coaster innings, like you rightly said. The middle order could have contributed a bit more. Sri Lanka losing his wicket to Rashid Cotton Bowl, so that was the turning point maybe, because that partnership of 100 runs was looking really formidable, could have gone on for 140, 50 for that matter, and that would have resulted in Sri Lanka going past that 320 mark which we're talking about.
Kusal Mendis, 6 fours and a couple of sixes, so around about 40, 42 runs with the big shots. But even otherwise, he was in no mood to just muck around and play too many dot balls. Look at his strike rate. This goes to show that he's someone who enjoys continuing to score runs. He likes to be what they call a busy player.
A busy player, and he's a player definitely in form. And I think what he did was he took it to a situation. See, what would the Sri Lanka be most scared of? Lose quick wickets and you end up at 160, 170 for 7, or be in a situation where suddenly it looks dangerous, where even the Afghanis, the whole fielding team would have been on top of you. I think what they managed to do was get away from that pressure, and his 92-run knock took them away from it. Unfortunate. When you get out like this on days like this, it's one of those things. And I think after that, from that 227, I think fantastic. Velalage, the way they batted through in the end, I thought was also fantastic. Velalage and Theekshana did play two very, very important knocks for Sri Lanka today.
Yes, at one stage they looked like they would lose their way after Mendis got out, Dhananjay De Silva got out in that 40th over. You saw 2 wickets fall. In 2 overs they lost 3 wickets. And if it wasn't for that partnership between Velalage and Theekshana, they might have been reduced to 250, 260.
Yeah, so at that stage, you thought that Afghani bowlers are coming back in the game. They had Sri Lankans really under pressure at that stage. But Velalage now is, you're understanding now why everyone were talking about that, why Sri Lanka is backing him. He's an exciting young talent, which they've been backing through and through. And I think his overall approach to the game is the reason you feel looking at this innings from today. He can just not contribute with the ball, but also he's a very handy batsman. So that's something which is very important. And also now, it's just a general trend now, isn't it? That you wanting to give that importance to batting. So the bowlers who can bat is also something which most of the teams around the world are now giving importance to.
At the start of this broadcast, we told you that it's not just a must-win game for Afghanistan, but it's a must-win big game. Now that Sri Lanka have posted 291, I've just been told that Afghanistan have to chase this score down in 37.1 over. So, do Sri Lanka look at this batting performance and say 291 good enough, or do they say, you know what, we could have got 330?
So I think that the number you said comes up to about 223 balls. They'll have about 223 balls to do it. 223 balls to 291. They would have said if he could just at that 227, if he had pulled it down to 250, 250, it would have been much, much closer. This is not an easy chase, but it's by no means over, because I feel that this Afghan team enjoys this form of cricket. You know, sometimes they talk about it, and I've often talked about it before. When you have a situation where your chase is so much that you don't have time to think, sometimes it clears the head of the batting side.
Yeah.
So in IPL, we used to say that, you know, chases above 200 are great chases because no batsman is thinking. He's saying, I have to go and hit. I have no option.
Yeah.
So similarly, they're in a situation where they've got to go and hit. They could get out in 35 overs also. They could easily do it in that period as well.
A 64-run partnership for that eighth wicket towards the end. Now, the moment Afghanistan would have been told of this equation, they would have thought, you know, we had them under the pump. We perhaps, did they take that foot off the accelerator, or did they just not have that kind of bowling to clean up the tail?
No, you just feel that Afghanistan at one point got back into the game. So if you look at it, the way Sri Lanka approached their innings, they were always in control. And that's why, you know, that important cog in that batting lineup was Kusal Mendis.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't really let the spinners settle. You know that Rashid has a very important role to play in that bowling lineup. And you look at the way he batted against him today.
Yeah.
Same with Mujib as well. You know, he was always positive. So you always felt that Sri Lanka kind of was losing its way in that around that phase, you know, that 200 mark which you're talking about. But other than that, you know, they've been pretty consistent. Yes, that one phase which you're looking at 11 to 20 phase where Gulbadin Naib got those 3 wickets.
Yep.
That phase was a bit tricky one, but Asalanka and Kusal Mendis' partnership just made sure, and you look at that run rate through that partnership, it was over 6. So that shows that, you know, they were pretty much in control at that stage.
129 runs between the 21st and the 40 over mark, and that's when we saw Kusal Mendis really show how comfortable he is against, especially against leg spin bowling. Now, Joy Bhattacharya was busy creating Kusal Mendis' wagon wheel. It does tell you where he enjoys scoring those runs.
No, absolutely. Of course, we were just looking at the wagon wheel, and definitely while he's taken singles and all, really that scoring arc is exactly what you'd expect to be between long on and deep square leg. I mean, that's the area that he's hitting it. He enjoys hitting on the onside, and he managed to pick his spot. And what he did one very vital thing. You know, he did not allow Rashid Khan to get on top.
Yeah.
And while Rashid Khan is such a great competitor that he came back in the end and of course got that run out in that wicket, but before that he took him for 15 in an over, and then Rashid Khan had to be taken off. And I think those are the things that made such a difference. So Kusal Mendis it's not just about the runs you score. When you take down the opposition's top bowler, when you take that down, you put 15, you're sending a message to that entire team, you're sending a message to your team saying, look, don't worry, this is Rashid Khan, I have taken him for 3 consecutive fours. And that's a message that he sent out there.
Yes, Kusal Mendis' innings clearly enabling the Sri Lankans to set a certain platform, and then towards the end, the tail-enders did the job. When you're bowling on a Pata wicket like this, where there's absolutely no help, the batter looks really settled, what should the approach, the attitude be for a bowler? Bowling first.
Look, like I told you, you look at the 2 phases of the game, right, where you felt that Afghanistan was back in the game. And why did that happen? It's just about taking wickets. You know, you just got to find that way. You got to have that belief, and you got to have that intent. You know, so when you're thinking like that, things happen around that. Yes, not always it's going to go your way, but if you are thinking like that, it just keeps you in that positive frame of mind. So even if the runs are going, you can just always think of adding 2 more wickets to that tally, and suddenly things look different. So that's what you saw today. You know, when through that phase, Gulbadin Naib got those wickets, you felt that Sri Lankan batters are under pressure. Yeah. You have to again do that hard work of getting your team out of the hole. So that's what Kusal and Asalanka did at that stage. And later on, before that partnership between Tikshana and Velalage, you are also looking at the similar kind of a story where Rashid picking that wicket of Shanaka, Kusal Mendis getting run out, suddenly things changed.
Yeah.
So that's the only way. You have a run out today, and you have maybe a bit loose shot by Shanaka at that stage, and it looked like Afghanistan was back in the game, and again Sri Lankan batters have to really toil hard to get their team to the total which you're looking at right now.
Number 8 and number 9 doing the job. Velalage at number 8 scoring 33 of 39. Tikshana 28 of 24. That really helped bolster the end of that Sri Lanka batting innings. And I suppose that is something that Rohit Sharma was referring to as well when he was talking to the press about why they went with a certain combination. Let's take a look at that exact quote where he is referring to how he expects number 8 and 9 to bat. This is what he said to the press. We have to create batting depth. Obviously, the number 8 and 9 become crucial when it comes to batting depth. We fell a little short at the back end with the bat. I think he was referring to the Pakistan match. Their job is not just to bowl the opposition out, but also to score some runs. 10 or 15 could be the difference between winning and losing. Like your thoughts?
That's the philosophy which you are talking about, right?
Yeah.
So you got to have a philosophy and you got to back it, and then you got to identify the players which are going to fit that philosophy and play with that kind of a philosophy there. And that communication has been happening time and again from the various stakeholders of the team right now, and cricket as far as Indian cricket is concerned. So that is the reflection of the squad also which you saw today. And that's why then you think of, okay, why this guy is not there in the World Cup 15, or why that guy is not there in the World Cup 15. The answer is there, because that's the thought process which they are following. They want the contribution from number 8, number 9.
Yeah.
So Aksar is that one name which comes gets that nod at a crucial juncture, and then you have Shardul also fitting that kind of a bill. So someone like Prasidh Krishna will not get a nod from this selection committee. So that is the general philosophy. There are many ways of approaching the game, but you got to stay and back your belief, have that faith, and give yourself the best chance. So the people around right now getting into this tournament are looking at the squad in this way.
The 2011 World Cup was largely about top order batters who could bowl.
I'm so glad you raised that. Okay.
And this World Cup is about lower order bowlers who are expected to bat. So there is a certain change in philosophy. Where's that coming from?
Okay, there are two parts to this. So let me come to the first part. The first part is exactly what I was also thinking. That team in 2011, they batted till 7. Then 8 was Harbhajan.
Yeah.
Okay, 8 was Harbhajan, and 9 was Zach. Then you had Nehra, Munaf. That was basically the attack. Those 3 bowlers, Harbhajan. So till 7, okay, you were batting. Okay. Now that is the point. This team wants to bat to 8. They want somebody at 8 who can bat a little better than say a Bumrah can or a Shami can. And that's what they're doing. But what I think their philosophy is, it's a very pragmatic philosophy. 2 things they're coming out of. They are saying that this is not, they're telling us, and let's be honest about it, there's no shame in this. This is not the Indian batting side of either 2011 or 2019.
Yep.
So they're saying that the power that India had in 2011, you have Sachin, Sehwag, Gautam Gambhir, Virat Kohli, Yuvraj Singh, MS Dhoni, the team that you have, and then you had Suresh Raina at 7. Okay. Yeah. That's the kind of lineup you had, or even the lineups in 2019, when at 4 was a problem. But look at the rest of that batting. I mean, Rohit Sharma scoring 5 centuries, Shikhar Dhawan. So they are telling us that perhaps this side is not as strong batting wise as those sides were. So I need that extra help with the bowler, and that's fine, because at least that means that they have an understanding of where we stand as a team vis-a-vis other teams in their batting sides, their units, and saying that, okay, we need a little more help out here.
Is it an insurance policy? Maybe allowing the top order to bat a little more freely, saying if things go wrong, we've got some cushion down there. Could that be a reason?
Yeah, I mean, Rohit has been talking about that, isn't it? That he was making that conscious effort of upping his strike rate. He wanted to take more chances at the top in that first 10 overs. And if you're doing that, then you're looking at maybe more cushion at the back end.
Yeah.
So that's why that number 7, number 8 becomes crucial. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely backing that argument there, right? Like, if you're looking at it in building up your innings in that way, then you got to have maybe more batting at the number 7 and number 8, and that's the approach.
Because my feeling is exactly that even yesterday DK was saying exactly the same thing. That the one thing both of them were saying is, it's not so much about how much number 8 will bat as how comfortable a Rohit or a Virat feels batting freely, knowing that I can bat till number 8. So it's more the psychological factor कि है 8 तक हम batting कर सकते हैं. And I think that is important, because then your top order batsmen are playing with a freer mind. And that I think is really, really important. Look, it's an interesting side, but they have put this side together and they've given us logic for it. Now, you may agree or disagree with their philosophy, but within their philosophy, they have done what needs to be done to make this team work.
More clarifications on KL Rahul. Clearly, the country wishes the team well, but questions, of course, can be asked because there's a certain curiosity around KL Rahul's readiness or how much he can do on his return to the Indian side after injury. There was a bit of a niggle as well, which is why he hasn't been able to play the first two games. Let's take a look at what Ajit Agarkar said about KL Rahul. He said he was part of the camp in Bangalore. And he looked really good there and has got over his niggle. Great news. He played a couple of games over the last 2 days at the NCA. He kept for 50 overs and batted for around 50 overs too. So we are happy to have him. There are different ways to interpret this, Zach. Does this mean that KL Rahul is going to be the first choice keeper batter come that first game on October 8th in Chennai versus Australia?
I think October 8 is still far away.
Right.
I think when someone is coming off injury and with such a long layoff, so there are two guys right now in this team, right, which is Shreyas and KL. So what you would want to see is that they are match ready. And for that, there's only one way of getting them match ready is by playing them matches. So I think that should be the approach. So you have potential 4 games right now. Then you'll have 3 games against Australia. And mind you, this is the provisional squad anyways, so you have that option of in case of a setback or in case of any forced change which a team wants to do, they can actually exercise that option by 28th of September. So there is still enough time. So these 7 games, if you're looking at it potential, then you got to use these games wisely. And I think that should be the approach. So especially these players need to play most of the games for them to get into that zone. For everyone also to be feeling calm around that and ticking that box of preparation. Because most of the other guys have been playing consistent cricket. Maybe Aksar has not been getting that many games. So so that one option also you will see if they get a chance. Team will look at maybe giving them also chances.
India play Pakistan in their Super Force game of the Asia Cup on the 10th of September in Colombo. Who is your keeper batter? Because Ishan Kishan, 4 back-to-back half centuries. Batting at 5 for the first time in his career, he scored very crucial runs for you. KL Rahul needs game time. It's a tricky one for the captain.
I think KL Rahul, I totally agree with you. But I think Ishan Kishan has done enough in the last 2 matches to say he's not on test right now. The person who's on test right now is KL Rahul. So I would definitely put KL Rahul in and take as many opportunities, not just to see him, it's as many opportunities for him to get ready before the World Cup. And if you look at that comparison that you see, both of them have absolutely sterling records. I mean, Ishan Kishan is 44.5, but his 44.5 is very recent. KL Rahul has been absolutely superb in terms of that batting average of 55 is one of the great averages. The thing is, it's his fitness that has bothered us over the last year and a half, 2 years. It's fitness that's been an issue. But if KL Rahul is fit, he's, like it or not, India's first choice keeper. And by the amount of time that they spent with him, for somebody like an Ajit to go to the camp, to watch him for 2 days, for them to, spend so much effort on him, tells you how much that Indian team believes that he's an essential part of that team.
Right, a lot more will be discussed as we go along over the next 30 days. Remember, exactly 30 days to go for the start of that 2023 ODI World Cup with India as hosts. A lot more will be said and asked over the next 30 days. For now, let's focus on the second innings that's coming up. Afghanistan have to win really big and they have to chase down 291 in 37.1 overs. Let's pull up Afghanistan's team graphic so that Zaheer Khan can perhaps look at it and tell us if they need to shuffle that batting order a little bit. Rahmat Shah struggled at number 3 in that last game today. They need runs and runs quickly. Would they look at Shahidi coming in at 3? Maybe send Rashid Khan up the order to stir things up a little bit?
I think they'll expect a good start, and when you are talking about these kind of chases, the start becomes very vital. So Gurbaz is going to be that guy, which is going to be very crucial. And yes, Shahidi can be promoted for sure. Looking at what's in store. Also, someone like Rashid Khan, he's batting too lower down the order in that Afghanistan batting lineup. So you will see some changes for sure from Sri Lanka's point of view. I think what you can expect is Tikshana and Pathirana are your main bowlers, right? So they will be bowling as many overs as possible, maybe finishing those 20 overs in that 37 overs which you're talking about, because I'm sure Sri Lanka is also aware of what's coming their way in this particular innings.
Yes, top load your bowling and go with your two best weapons is what Zaheer Khan is referring to. Rashid Khan higher up for you?
Definitely higher up for me, but you're absolutely right. I don't see Rahmat Shah batting there. But the key to this chase is the man who didn't get runs the last time. The key to this chase is Gurbaz. He's got big hundreds, 149, 150. He's capable of doing it. This is not a very high run rate. We are talking about, 291 and 223 odd balls. He can do it. He has that capability to do it. So I'll be very interested in seeing how he starts off. And again, that's exactly the point that, Zach, obviously the ultimate captain, but immediately, because there's no restriction, I can use all 20 of these overs now. So
I've just been told there's another little variable to this equation. While they need to get this total in 37.1, however, if scores are level at 291, they have an extra over of cushion. They can do it till 38.1 is what I've been told. So if you hit a 6, only if you hit a 6 at 291. So, well, lots of mathematics to be done. This is what I've been told in my ears. It's a trick. If scores are level at 291, you hit a 6, then you can do it till 38.1. Well, let the cricket take over. Let the mathematicians be. Pathiran and Tikshana will come out all guns blazing against an Afghanistan who will go bang bang as well. Before we say goodbye on the show, let's get a quick prediction from Zaheer Khan and Bhattacharjya on the score at the 10 over mark, the first power play.
What happened to the earlier prediction?
Nobody got it right. I got it I got it right. 291.
Yes. Yeah, 291, yes.
Yes, you got it right.
So on the Hindi show, I call it tukka time. So tukka lag gaya. Kabhi lag jata, sir. But sir,
we figured that.
Sir,
With your reaction, we figured. Everyone watching
sir, I'm student hai, sir. Aap teacher hai, sir.
Oh, I won.
मैं तो भूल गया था. हाँ, 10 over.
I think 10 over 60.
Let's go.
81.
81.
Because I think Gurbaz will go for it.
Okay, I'm going to say in trying to go bang bang, they will lose 3 wickets and they'll be 40 for 3 at the 10 over mark. Sorry to our Afghani friends, but well, it is what it is. That's it for now on Cricbuzz Live. We'll come back to you at the 15 over mark with Cricbuzz Combox. See you then.